to Monstro Mondays. I'm your host, SmileyMonster, and if you are feeling the Monday blues, I'm here bringing the pink. Does the market have you down? Are your tokens not performing the way you want them to? It's all good because relax, hang out for a while. I'm here to make you smile, give you a little bit of the latest updates with Monstro, and just have a really interesting conversation with a special guest today. So one of the things we've been doing to kind of making the pink, is we've been having a meme contest in the Monstro community. And we asked all of our members to submit their favorite memes about Monstro. And we've had some really great submissions. And so I want to share all of them with you today. And at the very end of the episode, if you hang out with me, we are going to play Grubfish Royale to pick the winner. So here's a couple of the memes to start you off with. We've got he's thinking about another girl, and really he's thinking, I'm glad I moved to Degens 2.0, and I'm totally going to do Blobby and get that sweet auto 50% compound. Is it Wednesday yet? And then this one is so cute. I love it. It's a St. Patrick's Day themed one. I hope you had a great St. Patrick's Day, but he's totally got the Monstro vibe. And then here's another one. Established 2023, Monstros. Started out just curious of Monstros, and now I'm addicted so much I had to get my own. Meet Fuzztooth. Hey Fuzztooth, he is so adorbs. I just love it. So, we need to move on to see who the sponsor of the week is this week. The sponsor of the episode this week is Tilting Shock's Miner Blocks, because your current mining setup is about as exciting as watching paint dry and probably slower. I mean, are you tired of staring at the same boring mining rig, willing it to cough up a single crumb of crypto? Look, we get it. Most mining rigs are about electrifying as a wet sock, and that's why you need Tilting Shock's Miner Blocks. They are supercharged with cutting-edge tech that won't make you want to take a nap, unlike your grandpa's dusty old rig. Or lightning fast processing power that'll have you raking in the crypto. And a sleek modern design that won't make your house look like a reject from a 90s sci-fi movie. Plus, with Tilting Shock's Miner Blocks, you'll be defibbing your portfolio. I mean, we're not doctors, but these things will definitely give your crypto holdings a much-needed jolt. You'll be mining like a boss, because let's face it, who wants to be a mining chump? And you will be the envy of all your crypto-obsessed friends. They will be begging you for a peek at your gloriously efficient setup, and maybe a loan. So don't settle for a mining rig that's more depressing than a clown college dropout. Get Tilting Shock's Miner Blocks and experience mining the way it was meant to be. Fast, furious, and ridiculously profitable. Because frankly, your current setup is about as useful as a chocolate teapot for mining anything. So get Tilting Shock's Miner Blocks today and watch your crypto dreams become reality, or at least a very shiny reality. Thanks, Tilting Shock! Time for Monstro Moolah Madness. Farms! We just had our 30th weekly payout made up of all earnings from Wednesday, March 6th through Tuesday, March 12th. Payouts are in USDC on the Binance Smart Chain. And yes, they include both Lazarus Pit bonuses and Cycle C. So shout out, guys. Leave some love in the comments. Ring that notification bell, follow, like us. Man, you want to stay on top of this because farms are killing it lately. We raked in $58,083.67 that went out to 930 recipients. That was an increase of 137 this past week. So remember, 90% goes to the holders and 10% approximately goes to the team. So let me know, which farm do you guys have? If you had Genesis, they got a 3.43% drop today or this week. Cycle B got 3.12%. Cycle C and Spooky got 3.99%. Cycle D got 3.12%. And then if you have a Degens Phase 2 NFT, you got $3.89 USDC per unit. Now remember, Cycle C includes the bonus share from the new Cycle D sales. The Genesis bonus from the Degens claims tax is included in payouts. That was $2,350 USDC, which gave a bonus of 31 cents a unit. And BNB chain's having some weird issues, so V had to break it up into multiple transactions to get them to go through. So if you saw that, that's all that was going on. And Cycle E farms are ready and live now. You can buy them. Let me throw up right here. This is the site that you need to go to. You can buy them. They're $105. And remember that extra $5 then goes back to the Cycle D holders. Okay? We have been selling these like crazy this past week ever since they went on sale. So you better get in there and get some. And then you too can be excited when I'm announcing Monstro Mula Madness, because you will be getting that sweet USDC dropped to your wallet every payday. Now we have some exciting news. I don't know if you caught it. V made an announcement. There is going to be an upcoming launch of special edition Monstro farms. These things are featuring exclusive art from Mark, Jay, and Ross, and we are going to have details coming. But just know they're going to be 100 USDC each, 50% passive income, and 50% game revenue share, no team share, and $50 from each sale is going to fuel that active game development. We are expecting to sell hundreds of these every month. And to help with marketing, we've engaged Fracas Digital. They are renowned for Web3 gaming marketing, and they're going to just grow our Monstro brand. We have so many exciting plans ahead. So stay tuned, guys. Keep an eye out for Whelps Reborn and HMV Reborn updates. And Blobby is on its way. Okay, so in the meantime, you can go to phase 2 anytime you like. Sam has actually shared the Blobby versus phase 2 calculator in our Discord and Telegram channels. He is so nice. He's such a great egg. So check it out if you want to compare it. And that is Monstro Mula Madness. I want to share a few more of our community memes. I'm having so much fun with these. Here is another one. Love this. Blobby's just going to be eating up those DGens Phase 2 NFTs. If you're interested in that, we'll have more details coming out soon. Here is another cute St. Patrick's Day themed monster. How I feel knowing I got into Monstro at the very beginning. And then this one is so cute. You know I'm a huge cat lover. Monstro's Universe for all the cats. I'm sure Castlehoff appreciates this one too. Maybe she joined his Feline Fanatics Club. Okay, so time for a Monster of the Week. Remember, this is a monster who just goes above and beyond. He's not just there to hang out and make money, but is there to actually help others, spread the positive vibes. So this week's Monster of the Week is, I'm going to throw up his picture here. Crypto Bobbio. Big shout out to our Monster of the Week. He is totally a degen for Monstro. He is on fire lately. I don't know if you've noticed him. He is all over every single one of our socials with a lot of encouragement and support. He's not an official team member, but he's constantly just giving out those hot tips and insights and sharing everything he knows about Monstro and all of our products. He's really taken a lot of time to really read everything and know the universe inside and out. That is true dedication. But then he's supporting everybody else. He's not just keeping it to himself. So massive props to you, Crypto Bobbio. We appreciate you. We are so grateful that you are part of our universe. And so you are Monster of the Week. If you head over to the Discord, you're going to see a special role that you get. And we just are so grateful that you're here. Thanks a lot for all you do for Monstro, Crypto Bobbio. Now it's totally time for Token Tingles. Welcome to this week's Token Tingles. We are picking our token picks of the week that give us those exciting vibes and tingles down our crypto spines. It is the place to be for the juiciest and most thrilling tokens. Hi V, how are you?
I'm good, but now I'm worried. If I have a crypto spine and someone rugs us, am I going to be paralyzed?
I hope not. Although you could get one of those implants, right, that they have. and then you could just use your brain.
Oh yeah, that's true. It'll be here soon enough, I'm sure. And meantime, I can buy some NFT vertebrae, I guess.
Or we can make some. There you go. A new Monstro
Yeah,
product.
monster vertebrae pieces.
Yes.
not the market. We have a lot of things we want to explore. That's not been one of them.
Understandably, I'm sure.
All right,
So,
I guess we should dive on in. So, where are we standing?
okay, we only have 4 weeks left of the challenge. And right now, Team V, Teddy Bear is, oh God, everything is up for you almost. Teddy Bear is up 11.28%. Win is up 115.7%. AKT is up 88.3%. Rose is up 34.58%. 2CC is down 45.93%. File is up 21.5%. Crazy Bunny went nuts. It's up
Mhm.
249.9%. And then Portal's just down a little 9.958%. So very nice. You were just like biding your time, right?
Well, the problem is this is being filmed. The prices have drastically gone down since March 15th. So
Oh no, you can't take
please,
the win.
I can't be too excited for some of those high percentages because they no longer exist.
Oh no. Okay, well, you had your moment
But
though, you
all
know?
that matters is what they look like at the end. So it doesn't really matter the
That's
journey.
true. Very true. Okay, so for Team Smiley, we have Factory down 7.406%. Ape is up 61.33%. XNL is up 85.9016%. Walk-in is up 17.56%. PBX is down just 3.36%. Miria is down 3.39%. RVF is down 8.20%. And OPSEC is down 15.01%. And check this out. Okay, so far my average, I'm up 15.73%. But check out how much you were up. You were up 56.76%. That was awesome.
Yeah, but you know what I was doing? I was doing one meme, one real utility, one meme, one real
Oh.
utility. So I mean, those memes can go either way. I can be up
Mhm.
50% and then next week down 50%, right? So
I know it's true. And then for our guest team, AJ's goat is up 45.05%. Nate's woolly still down
poor Nate.
54.01%. Ben's sharks is up 126.52%. Coach's Slayer is up 63.5%. Maddie's Riva is up 39.68%. And James Pelton's BioFi is up 117.88%. And I'm not going to say why because I want you to watch, but my special guest this episode will tell you why BioFi is up so much. And then JP's IOC is up 8.68%.
Is your special guest from BioFi?
No, just somebody who is a big supporter of it.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So, what is your pick for this week?
Well, I'm going to keep with my pattern. So I'm going to go to
Mhm,
another meme coin.
mhm.
And this one, because today, like everything, it's super red. I think it's a wonderful entry. And it's been very kind to us on the liquidity providing side for the past month and a half.
Ooh.
So GameStop, I should be wearing a red bandana, I guess. But the GameStop token, not the stock, on Solana is going to be my pick, GME. It's at a nice entry of about, I don't know how many zeros. It was a lot of zeros and then one. Yeah, I believe it's at 1.6 right now or something like that. But it every time it's reached this level, it bounces back into the twos and threes very quickly. So I
Okay.
think it's a good, easy spot to grab it, and it's proven this pattern over and over and over and over again. And there's no massive whales in it. It's something where it's just like 15,000 community members and 20,000 holders or something. So I think the pattern will continue on it as long as memes overall keep running. So yeah, that'll be my pick for the short term.
Okay. And then I I picked one that I thought was really interesting. It's called Dimitra. And the reason why I picked this one is, I live where there are a lot of small farm holders around this area. I live in a very rural area, and I didn't know this, but Dimitra does this thing where they have built this mobile app, and it's to connect all the different small farmers around the world and help them. There's over 600 million smallholder farmers all around the world, and they have this new regulation this coming year that they actually have to prove that they're not deforestizing, I guess is the word, the land that they're farming on, and there's all these requirements. And so the app especially connects them and then helps them to fill out all of the forms that they have to submit, and they have experts that help them. They help them maximize their farming techniques and so that they yield more crops. There's all kinds of help on there, like navigating all the different governmental regulations on that. And so I thought that was really cool. And then using the app, they can use it using the Dimitra token. So that was just something I found that could be really helpful. And right now it's at 0.1548. And I think it could go up, especially if it catches on all these small farmers and realize that it's a great tool, it's on the blockchain, and it makes things easier for them. So that's my pick.
You know what? I
What?
think when we took over Lazarus Pit and we first tried to set up an alt portfolio to do this altcoin versus Bitcoin like dominance thing back and forth,
Right?
it invalidated. We didn't do it and we sold those tokens back. But I think we had some Demetra back then. I'm not sure if it's
Oh,
the same one, but I remember the idea of this agricultural related one named Demetra. I want to check really quick if it was if I remember right, we might have got it at like 10 cents. So let's see if it was 10 cents last year at that
okay,
time.
cool.
And that would be pretty interesting if you picked it a year later. So, Dimitra, if I look a year ago, that's going to be a long time frame.
hmm In crypto,
But
yeah.
oh, wow. When they first came out, they were $7.40.
Well, there you go. Now's the time to buy. They're only at 15 cents now. So,
Yeah, no, in May 23, April 23, they were around the 20 to 30 cent mark,
okay.
maybe 50 cent little peak. So, yeah, we must have got it. If it is the same one, we must have got it somewhere in that range and then sold it off probably for a little bit of loss or a little bit of profit. I don't remember on this one. It was
Okay.
definitely not a big holding. And then, yeah, it looks like it's pumping back pumping back with a lot of volume this month.
Nice. Especially if the next 4 weeks it pumps, I will be happy.
Well, volume, what's the old saying? Volume precedes price. So there's a big green candle of volume. So you might
Ooh,
be in a good spot for your price.
I hope so. So now, what happens if our guest team is the winner of the challenge?
I guess they have to make us both do something embarrassing.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That sounds easy enough.
Okay, sounds good. So I will post the results in the Discord and keep an eye on them.
All right. So hope everyone enjoyed your St. Patty's weekend. I think we'll have that to reveal hopefully soon. Monstro as a little leprechaun fellow. And yeah, we don't. I don't have anything else for now. So I
Okay,
return you to your Monstro Mondays.
thank you. Bye, V.
Bye.
I want to share some more of our monster memes that we had submitted. I just think these are great. Look at this one. Feed Blobby your NFT. It's a little scary, but very impactful, right? We have this one. Monstro Payday. We can totally identify with this. If you have an NFT, those Wednesdays are awesome. Waking up knowing that you've just got USDC dropping in your wallet that day. We have this one here too. This is so cute for degens. And then this meme, I'll read it for you. It's a little tiny print. You need to claim as often as you can to ROI as fast as you can. And he says, Well, if we work together, we can have a good claim and good claim reinvest cycle, and we can all make more money. And he says most ROI dApps need to be exited as fast as possible for safety's sake. And then he says, this one's different. There's a safety net built in. And he says, I just want my ROI. Excuse me. So stay tuned, and we are going to play Grubfish Royale at the end of this episode to find the winner of the St. Patrick's Day NFT for the meme contest. And now, time for my special guest, Pocket Aces. Monsters, it's my pleasure to introduce our next guest on Monstro Mondays, the awesome Pocket Aces. He is a crypto enthusiast, a YouTuber, an advocate for all things awesome. He's here to share his journey and his passion for the world of crypto. He has a ginormous 260 videos on his YouTube channel and counting. And he's not just here to have fun and make money, but he's here to actually drive the crypto conversation forward. He's enthusiastic, and he actually has a genuine love for the space and the people. He started as just an enthusiast, but now he's a content creator, and he has this mission to spread all information about crypto to everyone. So please, I'll put the link up soon, but don't forget to check out his YouTube channel. He has a lot of wisdom and entertainment. And welcome to the show, Pocket.
There you go. You already did the whole show for me. Thanks for the great intro.
You're welcome. My pleasure. So may we start with my infamous word association game?
Sure. I probably should have brushed up on what you were going to do to me.
No worries. This is easy. I'll just say a word or two words, and then you just tell me the first word or words that comes to mind, and don't overthink it, okay?
Okay.
Okay, first one is risky business.
Well, that's a movie, but risky business is just gambling, in my opinion, especially in this space. You can't be too careful, and being more cautious with your money, I think, is something we all need to do a little bit better at, and not committing risky business kind of acts.
I agree. Two is bit craze.
Bit craze. I don't even know. A bit craze, just being too crazy about Bitcoin.
Could you be?
Yeah, true.
Three is crypto coaster.
Well, I have a coaster here. We're gonna say this is my crypto coaster. It's a wolf, since my profile pic is a wolf. So there you go. Yeah.
How about bull run?
Bull run. Well, we're hopefully starting it. A lot of people say we're in it, but we're starting it. I'm excited for it. So let's go.
Me too. Moonshot.
Gambling.
Ooh. How about rug?
Thumbs down. 2 thumbs down.
Crypto night.
I will say I'll try. I would like to be one of those. A night in China, a crypto night that helps protect people.
I think you are.
There you go. Thank you.
How about hidden?
Hidden, my co-star on Blockchain After Hours.
Yes. Lucky.
I don't play in luck too much, but Monstros has been a great thing for everybody, and I think that's a good lucky charm for everybody to have in their pocket when they're growing their bag.
Nice. And Lambo.
I don't do Lambos.
I don't either. Everybody always asks me, when Lambo? And I'm like, I don't want one. I'd rather have a horse.
yeah, exactly. There's lots of other things I aspire to have, and well, I don't even aspire to have. It's like material things aren't. I enjoy them, but they're a tool, not a something I care too much about.
Right. So could you give us an overview, please, of the projects that you're in? I see there's numerous ones besides your YouTube channel.
Yeah, no, I've gotten a pretty good, I guess one of my biggest videos that I've loved doing that I want to get back into a little bit more of is my 1K wallet challenge. And what I talked about when I first created that video series was actually about creating table legs for your foundation for your investment portfolio. And it's been really nice now to actually have a really stable table that I can believe in and be comfortable in. So obviously not too on the nose, or quite on the nose, is Monstros. It's definitely one of my table legs that I'm growing. It started out fairly small, and I've just been kind of just letting it sit there because it's been so good, and I've gotten exposure in other things that I'm doing to you guys. And then other than that, what's been working really, really well for me is Investium, of course, is a great one where they're doing arbitrage. So it gives you kind of a little bit of a different niche that nobody else is really playing in this market. And then Nugget and Hybrid Bond are two ones, and Warfi, which are all trading bot type systems right now, and they're at their core. So it gives you kind of another kind of really strong table leg over there. Vaultec is one that I've created that along with Ludo, that's been doing a little slow, but we're getting there with, and one of their main investments is one of my biggest legs of my table, which is Flex, and they're ever expanding right now and doing a lot of really, really great things. Actually, Various was actually helping out there a little bit for a little while, so lots of comfort in that team. It's just neat to have teams of people that we can have a little bit more faith in and understand that things might happen, but we're not going to get rugged. So that's probably just buckets that I'm kind of playing in. And then other than that, I'm other than projects, I'm more betting on myself and learning to trade and trying to take matters into my own hand more. Another thing I talk about a lot is trying to learn a skill, whether it's liquidity pool management, of you doing it yourself, or trading, or find a skill inside this space that makes you happy, and try and find a way to turn it into income for yourself, where you're actively learning the skill as opposed to just passively playing it. That was long-winded.
No, that's great advice. And I've heard before
We
on
don't give
videos
advice
that
here,
you've
right?
done.
No
Oh,
advice.
yes. Well, it not necessarily financial, but then
I
you
know,
can
I
give
get you.
advice. So I've heard before you saying that you came from like a traditional banking background. So
Yeah.
what encouraged you to make that leap from traditional banking to crypto and DeFi?
Yeah, good question. Then the most part, obviously, it was a desire for change. The banking industry, in the 20 years that I was kind of inside of it, in one way, shape, or form, in the most part, its progression, even through like even from the internet phase and beyond, its progression never really went anywhere. It's about keeping everybody uneducated. It's about keeping everybody just in their own little false sense of security of everything. So for me, it was the transparency, it was the technology, and what it could be for the world financial economy as a whole. I think really enticed me quite a bit, and then it became so much more. It's kind of the ability to have our personal data be our own again, as opposed to Google owning it and making billions of dollars on it. There's so many different facets of this space that fascinate me. It's just more giving it the time to mature is really what's the hardest part about all this, I guess.
Right. So to extend that, has your definition of wealth and success changed since you moved over to DeFi and crypto?
No, for me, I always looked at myself, even when I was in the bank, as an educator. I didn't look at it as a salesperson. I didn't look at it as a wealth accumulator. It's more about educating people as to what matters, and helping find what makes you tick and what really satisfies you, because wealth doesn't really do it. People say it does, but we know it doesn't. So it's more about finding ways to use it as a tool as opposed to being controlled by it, which is what so many of us are.
That's true. So when you made that transition, did you have moments of self-doubt or fear that you'd made the wrong decision? Well, how did you overcome that? How did you move beyond?
Stubbornness, for lack of yeah. So I mean, it really became down to the passion. So I started actually doing both while, like, I was still working in the financial industry while I was doing crypto, and I was a gamer. I haven't done that in a long time. I was do a lot of different things, and so I've always done things, and then I wouldn't say given up, but maybe just it got hard. So I went back to what worked or what was easy. I think we're all guilty of that within reason. So a lot of it was just realizing what passion I had, and kind of going, you know what, this is where I belong. This is where my core is. I've realized I'm an entrepreneur. I've always felt I was an entrepreneur-ish, but not. But never really totally tapped into it. So it was a lot of just realizing that, hey, I'm not going to give up on this one anymore. Not that I gave up before, but it was still, I probably pivoted too easily back to the norm or the path that we're all supposed to be on, kind of thing, of different things, right? So by
Right.
doing what I did, by kind of holding on a little bit longer, I was able to get over that hump, able to handle probably bigger adversity than I've ever seen in things that I've tried when it came to coming in just at the end of the bull market and experiencing pretty much 100% loss when I first came into this space. But using that as a catalyst to learn, to grow, and to properly use it to be a business inside this space, where so many of us come in just to gamble. I realized there was opportunity and latched onto it.
Well, I've assumed that you probably got into a project that has rugged or has been scammed or any of the above. How did you handle that when you were in a project like that, especially making this transition now?
So I mean, I was good fairly early on at avoiding them within reason, or at least managing my risk. So I think what a lot of people do wrong, I wouldn't say, it's hard to say wrong, but is we get too attached, too married to a project. So for
Mhm.
me, it was, to kind of answer your question in a roundabout way, but to answer it, I came in during node season
Oh,
and fake node season.
right.
I put too much money into diversified in several nodes.
Mhm.
So for me, I never made that mistake again afterwards. I lost a lot
Mhm.
during that transaction
Mm.
and that episode, but very quickly learned not to do that. So after that, and none of those really technically rugged. I mean, I was involved in some, but they were always very small bets because I didn't trust them. Well, the other stuff that I'd put money into, they had been around for a little longer, and so long story short, I learned from that, and then when I got into other things later on, it was always small plays, and some of them I won. Some of them I take $100 and make it 500, or 100 and make it 1,000. But in the most part, the rugs were manageable because I never went all in. And so
Mhm.
it didn't feel as painful, I guess, but it was still, and I learned that early on. Sorry, did I kind of answer it there?
Yes, you did. And
Good.
now I'm curious, now that you're an influencer and a lot of people watch your channel to get ideas and learn how they can invest, do you find that that reputation carries with you now, or have you pretty much changed that so that people trust you more? How do you inspire trust?
Yeah, and it's been over time, right? Like I've gotten
Hmm.
into things in my 2-ish years of YouTubing. It's not even, I think it's a year and a half now, but um, so I've definitely gotten into projects that have rugged. Don't get me wrong. And in the most part, there's I've avoided them for the videos in the most part. There's still some that have rugged for sure. But and I'm trying to think of one actually. One good one was probably Mevbots, I think it was called.
Right.
They threw a decent chunk of chain at me. I had said no to most projects that do that. This one here showed a little bit more proof, but I was very cautious. And I told them, I said, guys, I'm going to talk about this like very negatively. And they were fine with that. I think they just wanted more videos out there because they felt with the volume that would help them. So that was a good learning one for me. I did the video on it anyways. I was very harsh about it. I put in very little. Sorry. Yeah, I put in very little, and then they ended up rugging soon afterwards. And same with
Ouch.
FX Master Gold. Not to get into old school names, but those two were probably two that were my biggest pivot points. Um, and FX Master Gold actually didn't even pay me for a video. I just did it because they'd been going for so long. I had taken my profits from another project and decided to throw it in there. And that was probably my biggest bet, if you will.
Mhm.
And that's where my channel probably started pivoting the most. Because although I had avoided most of the crap, it was still hard to fully avoid it in that time anyways. So I got into those two, got out of those two. They were both around the same time. And then after that, I kind of just sort of said, you know what, unless the founder wants to trust me. And so what I've done now most of the time is I ask the founders, if you want to meet with me on camera, even if you're not doxxed, I don't care, or KYC'd or whatever, I don't care. If you want to meet with me on camera and show me that you trust me, then I'll trust you on my channel. And so that's
Oh.
really what's pivoted mine the most and given me an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to truly keep a lot of the crap off my channel. That's not to say that it's worked perfectly, but in the most part, it's done quite well for me having that kind of philosophy. I only really adapted that recently, but it's done very, very well. I think the last project I did that didn't do great was Carol. And even then, most of us that got in when I got in, we made pretty good money. But then they kind of messed things up.
Oh, yes. So do you still keep one foot in the traditional finance realm, and do you still have friends from there?
I mean, I have friends per se in the most part for sure, but I don't really keep any foot in there anymore. I other than having to have bank accounts for some of the things that I do in this space. But no, in the most part, I've kind of walked away from it all. I had gotten out of it for 4 or 5 years, so I'd lost most of the connections from it, and then went back. So the connections when I went back were only 2 years big, so that we hadn't really created too much of anything. But no, I've basically turned my back on it all.
Okay, I was just curious how you would share opportunities in DeFi with some of those old friends that you had or bosses. What would you say to them to help convince them to make this transition?
Um, yeah, that's a tough one. I've had conversations with some of the younger ones in there,
Mhm.
and not to be ageist, I guess, but um, certain ones they just don't get it. So there's really not a way of having a conversation like that. I find, unless they're a really close friend, like because most of the for that when I went back to that industry, I was mostly work people, and my friend base was already built. But to kind of answer it, a lot of it would be just having the opportunity to decentralize, have the opportunity to take the power away from the big hand of the banks, because they all know it's very centralized. But making them realize the power of decentralized,
Mhm.
they're so programmed. It's very, very hard to open their mind to that kind of thing, I find. I mean, obviously we have people in the space that are from finance, don't get me wrong, but the ones that are really in the thick of it, and I guess the blue collared people of the bank, it's hard for them to understand it. It's too much
Right.
risk.
I was just going to ask you that. Do they approach risk management completely different than you do now that you're in DeFi?
I've always been a risk taker, so I don't really conform to the average banker. But yeah, no, they very much do. Like a lot of a lot of the mentality inside there is still GICs are okay when you're making 1% a year. Like it's a
Oh,
very
right.
different mindset. They don't. I mean, yes, they look at inflation a little bit, but they look at it like, okay, let's just get in our S&P 500 and we'll cover inflation with our 7% a year. So it's a very different mentality and a different mindset. So it's hard to really get them out of that tunnel vision.
Right. Interesting. How do you see the role of regulation evolving in DeFi? Do you think it's important, and how much would you like to see?
Yeah, that's a loaded one. So I mean, I think it's important, yes. And I guess the biggest way to illustrate that is the tech boom, the 2000, like 1999 to 2000, where internet became a big thing. There was lots of people using the space in nefarious ways, just like we've seen here. Like it's mind blowing. Anybody who's like 40, not to put my age on here, but anybody who's 40 and older, they would have been through the tech bubble, and they would have been possibly working during the tech boom and the internet craze and all that jazz of the late 90s and whatever. And if you were involved in that, you knew how people would take advantage. Even when the phone was created, there was people that would then find your phone number and try and scam you. Pretty much every technological kind of bump we've had in life, there's been an opportunity for crooks to take advantage of it, and they will. So where regulation kind of comes into play is that it can hopefully help curb some of that or get some of those out of the space. I mean, they're still always going to be here, but it will help make it easier to see what's legit and what's not. So I do think there's some value to it. That said, I think it has to be done quite differently than it's been done in the past, although I think we've always said that. And do I think it's going to happen differently? I doubt it, because the government's they like control, and they don't.
Right.
And this is taking even more control away than the internet did or than the telephone did. Or has the potential of taking the control away, but they'll find ways to try and stop that. it's the problem with something that's so open. It's like so easy to have a paper trail. So,
Right.
yeah.
And it sounds like you might be a proponent of community governance. How would you like to see that evolve and grow and help sustain DeFi protocols?
That's a funny one, only because I find that until we have a maturity of the user base, and I'm not trying to be insulting to community people, but unfortunately, as you're aware, being a mod, there is a lot of keyboard warriors and this kind of stuff, and unfortunately, they will. Uh, and I know I mean that, and I've always said this in any of my stuff that I talk about. It's negative from either side of the spectrum. Like our governments, like the U.S. government, where there's a Republican and a Democrat. Not to get political, the arguments to one side or the other are way too strong. Nobody wants to give an inch. Nobody wants to come a little bit closer. So until that kind of maturity comes, which I don't know, it's just not to get into society and all that stuff, but the way things are going nowadays, we seem to all be going to these mob mentalities of extremes as opposed to coming in the middle. So that's my biggest problem, I guess, with this space is we hide behind the keyboards and go to one extreme or the other, and it's very hard to bring us down to a commonality or an understanding or respect for the other spectrum. Does that make sense?
It does. It does, really. I see this polarization everywhere,
Mhm.
not just in politics, but in culture, even in the DeFi space.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
like this tribalism of if you're not with me, you're against me.
Yeah.
And it makes it so difficult to accomplish any kind of goals because you constantly have someone fighting against you who's not even willing to budge an inch to compromise or work things out, to come to some
Yeah.
kind of mutual agreement. It makes it difficult.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's my biggest problem with it all. And if we can try and find a way to get around that or to stop, but how do you stop that, right? Especially when people are hiding behind the keyboards and stuff. Hell, we can't stop it
Oh,
in the real world and when with government choices.
right.
Yeah.
Have you encountered any ethical dilemmas since moving into the DeFi space?
Like personally,
Maybe, yes. Or
uh,
with regards to your projects that you've been on the team from?
no. And now that might sound funny because I'm an open book. People know that I was involved in PGV and that I was not involved. Sorry, I was an administrator there. But I stood my ground, and as much as people didn't maybe like it, and I probably nobody knows the story fully, but during that whole time where I was trying to get into the inner circle, it was really just to try and find out what was actually going on and try and do that. And unfortunately, it was a fairly difficult task, more difficult than I thought it was going to be. But I know that even in the Discord and on my videos, I was saying, hey guys, like even people that were getting into the newest contract when it was created, I had said, don't get into it until we see that all the refunds are done on the other one, because that's
Oh,
a Ponzi, right? Like there's a very good
right,
chance of using money from one for the other.
right.
So even in the Discord, in the chat, and the founder of that protocol knew it because I was very vocal about it. He didn't
Mhm.
sway me from. He never came to me and said, "No, you can't do that," because that's making us look. And he let me do it. So that gave me even almost more confidence, which was unfortunate. Um, but but yeah, even in that realm, I've always tried to stick to very clear morals. That's probably my biggest thing, is no matter what I've done in this space, it's been done with integrity. Whether people believe me or not, that's their problem. But it's done with an integrity that I try and keep with 100% certainty. And even in private chats with people, if people saw them, they'd see, like, if somebody does something, I am not afraid to approach them and kind of say, hey, this is not cool. And if they want to disagree with me, then I cut ties with them. Like, that's just not right. So if there's one thing I will stand by 100%, it's integrity and morals. And if anybody wants to challenge me on it, they can. I will fight that because I know for sure I stick within those realms.
I admire that. It must be difficult at times. How do you maintain a sense of balance and well-being in this place? I mean, you're an influencer. You probably spend a lot of time. You see a lot of hurt, a lot of scams, a lot of
Yep.
unrest, I guess, in all these projects. So how do you keep your mental and good health well-being?
Well, a very kind, thoughtful question. Luckily, it's been fairly easy other than certain points. And I'm sure, again, it's probably easy to identify those points if you've been around and following me for a while. It was definitely hard last year from that, whatever, October of 2022 till March of 2023. And it's funny enough, it was actually pretty bad, actually. And to be honest with you, because I was involved in PGV and during all that stuff. And on top of that, I was still working full time at my regular job. So I was burning the candle at both ends. And it was, I ended up taking even a leave of absence from work, which I don't think I went into, and all that stuff, because it got so bad. And so, yes, it is tough. Whether I balanced it very well back then, no, but that was because I was burning the candle at both ends. Now that I've got this as my full-time gig, I can step away, I can walk upstairs, I can go hang with the family. Even in the summer, we've got more flexibility than I've ever had. So the fact that I'm in this space full-time has been my balance, I guess, if you will. I'm still not good at turning it off because I care too much, whether, again, people believe me or not. And so I do still do that, but I can manage it now because I'm not doing both gigs. So the fact that I was able to cut ties with the TradFi world / the real work world, I guess, if you will, has been my saving grace for keeping on going in this space.
Oh, good for you. I'm very happy to hear that. That's good.
Thanks.
That'll help sustain you, especially when things get really hard. And do you have any mentors in this space? I mean, who do you look to learn how to improve and be a better content creator or to invest better?
Yeah, there's definitely a few people. Obviously, in the most part, also it's just being a sponge for information is probably my best asset. So it's not really any individual person per se, but there definitely is people that I've attached myself to over time. James Pelton, obviously, people know I'm his community manager. That's been the thing that has allowed me to leave my day job. So by all means, I owe a lot to him and thankful for him and his involvement in the space. As much as people hate him. I can tell you with certainty he shares the same moral compass. Has he made mistakes? Yes, but so have we all. So I definitely say him. And I'm not oblivious to people that are younger than me. I couldn't care less how old you are. It's all about what value you bring to the space. So Austin Clark is another person that I've attached quite well with. And again, do I agree 100% with everything? No. But he's been the guy that's helped me transition to trading and to enjoy and have a passion for that. And so that's probably the biggest pivot I've made in my business model and where I hope to generate my income from so that I can focus on other stuff is from trading. So that's been another great one. Other than that, this space is full of great people. I love networking. That's been my big thing that I've done. And what I think what has drawn me into this space is I've always been a people person, a networker, that kind of stuff. And this space has allowed me to do it so much. So obviously with Various, with you, with all these people in this space, I've had such an enjoyment time meeting them, becoming friends with them and having great conversations with them. And it doesn't stop. There's the pillars, there's JP and Al Sanchez. Like, there's so many people that are trying to do so much good in the space. And I just try and involve myself with as many of them as I can.
Thank you. That's very kind of you to say. It's kind of like the Oscars too, where you're like, you don't want to leave anybody out for fear of offending them. It's your big moment, right? So let's say I'm brand new to crypto. What advice would you have for me? Where do I start? How do I find the good people? And how do I know who to trust and where to go?
Yeah, and that's always a loaded question, eh? I'm trying to start doing a series where I'll hopefully invite people into the space and show them. So other people have done it, but I don't know if they've quite done it to the way I like it. And not that I'm going to be perfect in the way I do it, but I'm going to try. So a lot of it is just research to me. Take your time, pick your investments wisely, make sure you're actually diversified. Because so many people just come in and it's almost a one-hit like they hear about. I mean, PGV and Stable Fund, for lack of better examples, were probably two things that brought so many people into the space and where friends bought friends. And unfortunately wrecked so many of them because they came in, went, oh my God, I'm making 1.5% a day. And they pulled in funds from everywhere and pulled in friends from everywhere and said, oh my God, this is unbelievable. Get in here. And none of them took profits because they just came in blindly. The PGV Discord was probably the biggest example of me seeing people that are just didn't know anything about the space other than PGB. And I'm sorry, sometimes my story gets into these ones, but it is what it is. So for me, the biggest thing for me is go out and be hungry for knowledge, be accepting of other things, and do not put all your eggs in one basket. And if you do those two things, to me, the sky's the limit in the space if you're cautious and just seek information, I guess.
I agree. And you know what? Your story is important, and it's important that you share it with other people, especially new people to the space, because we can all learn from people who've been here longer or experience things that we haven't. So I'd encourage you to keep sharing it.
Absolutely.
And as the bull run comes, and you said you feel it's starting now, do you feel that you're going to have to change your investment strategies, or are you prepared to do that in case things go crazy?
No, I'm not a chaser of things. I don't see the need to do that. That's more of a gambler's habit, in my opinion. For me, if you've created a really good foundation, you can still have fun if you'd like, and you can take 1% or 5% or even as much as 10% if you're really comfortable with it of your portfolio and play that way. But to me, my strategy will be exactly what I'm doing now. If it's working now, it will work the same or better in the bull market, in my opinion. So there's a bunch of passive plays that I have, obviously, including Monstro's Universe. I still want to keep learning, so I'm going to learn how to manage liquidity pools myself. Which I'm still new at, a baby at. I'm going to keep learning trading. So for me, it's not about changing your strategy. It's just about adapting to the different changes in more minor ways and trying to capitalize a little bit more, or make your money a little bit more efficient for you. And if you do those things, making 0.8% a day, start doing 1% a day or 0.9% a day, that is a massive change. And people think they need to make these 1,000x's
Right.
to win in this space, and it's just not true.
That's true. It's true. And I like what you said. Have a plan, make a little room for flexibility, but also, I've said this before, make some goals and stick to them. Don't just get riding along with the FOMO with everybody else when they say sell, 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 buy,
Tiny
buy,
things.
buy.
Yeah.
Yes. They get a little crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and we saw it last time. I'm sure we'll see it again. And this is why I say people say the bull market's here, and I'm like, no, the ETFs are creating volume, but the volume is not in DeFi right now. And the bull market is when everybody's coming in, going, buying bacon NFTs and things. That's when we're going to see
that
first.
Yeah.
I just think of that because I remember like there was a bacon game where they bought NFTs and you were supposed to get passive income. I don't think it ever came. Anyways, whatever. So that's when we're going to see the FOMO and all that stuff. Really, I mean, for now it'll be easy stuff like meme coins, where it's just buy it, but it'll get more convoluted soon, I'm sure.
Well, nobody's going to hold you to it, but I would love to know, where do you think DeFi will be in about 5 years from now? Can you tell us how you envision the future?
Yeah, more technology. I don't think it's still going to be. I think it's going to be fast. Obviously, AI is coming in and all that kind of stuff, and that stuff's going to change the landscape a little bit. And it's going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be kind of neat because it's not like it was one piece of technology that's changed this space, like internet or like the telephone. I go back to those examples because they're easy. This one's going to be a longer curve because we're going to see, it seems, and that's what's happened already, we're going to see different technological advancements that affect this space. So it's going to be more of almost like the World Wide Web, where it's spread into millions of websites. This is going to be like technological things that'll kind of just keep spreading like a web of its own, but there'll be higher impact things potentially, like AI, like DPIN, and all this different stuff that will latch on to DeFi potentially. So I don't know if I've ever had that thought. That actual thought just came to me now, to be honest with you. So it's going to be neat, I think, to see that and how that happens. So the transition might go over a longer period of time than the internet or the telephone, but it will be a bigger effect potentially, and hopefully a positive one, because we need a big change in this world, in my opinion. But yeah, so there's no one way to say how it's going to look. It's just the amount of change that's going to happen, I think, can be quite big over the next little while. The next 5 to 10 years is going to be really neat to see how much of it changes, and adoption when it starts happening more.
Right, it's exciting, and I think it's
Mhm.
gonna be rapid too. It's gonna be hard to stay on top of things. So again, going back to what you said, stay educated, keep your eyes peeled, listen to trusted sources, and stay safe as well.
Yep. 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 Yep.
What legacy do you hope to leave behind in the DeFi space, both
Oh,
professionally
none.
and personally?
Nothing. I don't have a leg. I don't. That's. I don't have an ego for that kind of stuff.
But what do you want people to say when they like, oh, Pocket Aces? I remember him. He was. What do you want them to say?
I'd probably just stick to the morals and hope that they realize that I stuck to my guns and tried to just be a positive influence in the space, no matter how little, and just one that had high integrity. Yeah,
That's a great goal.
thanks.
So here's my last question. V and
Mhm.
I are having our token pick challenge, and it's running for one more month. And we allow our guests to pick a token that they think is going to do well in the next, now it's about 4 weeks. So which token would you pick?
Oh, geez, I don't do tokens that much by itself.
Oh,
And
okay.
one I didn't mention actually in a project that I'm quite excited about, and I'm actually getting some involvement with. So we'll hopefully see, and it's actually done well the last little bit. Is BioFi actually? I'm excited for the technology they're bringing to the table and the different things they're going to try and do in the space. So BioFi, I'll say. Sure.
Okay, Mr. Pelton picked that one too. And it's
Oh, did
interesting. Let me
he?
ask you real quick, because now I'm curious. It was down 30%, and then it went back up 60% the previous week. Do you have any idea why it shot up so much?
I do. So it's actually legislation for the phone. So there's, I
Oh,
can't remember the name of it. I apologize, but there's a certification they had to get, and they got it. So
oh,
that's
nice.
meaning like things are on a pretty darn good go. So yeah, I should have known Pelton would obviously pick that one. And I actually don't even have any BioFi, as crazy as that is, but I'm working with them, and I'm
Oh,
really happy with what I don't buy. I don't have a bull run portfolio. I don't really do
mhm,
tokens. I'm more passive plays.
right.
And right or wrong, it is what it is. That's how I built my portfolio right now. I would like to, and I have a desire to get some tokens. I do have some Kadena, which has done well, and different things like that, but I just haven't gone that route. But yeah, so BioFi for me, I think they've got a really good head on their shoulders. They're one of the few that's building in this space like a business, and I think that's what we need a little bit more of. We have a lot of people trying to get rich quick out of their whatever they're trying to design. Again, similar to what Various is doing, he's trying to build a business, and as hard as it
Yeah.
might be, and as a hardship that he goes through, and all that stuff, he's sticking to his guns and just building something real out of the most real investment tool in the space, which is liquidity pools. So yeah, so just excited for what a few different people are doing in the space that keep that kind of business mindset, but still with a community and a desire to help the people in mind.
Well, we appreciate you at Monstros. You've done multiple videos, and you're always a big proponent, supporter, and positive and encouraging this space. So thank you. We really
Thank
appreciate that.
you. My
Yeah.
pleasure.
And thank you for chatting with me today. I had a good time. I learned a lot. You have a unique perspective, and I hope everybody checks out your YouTube channel for content that's coming and education and safety and fun new stuff that's coming. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Smiley.
Now, monsters, it's time to find out who won the St. Patrick's Day NFT. Are you excited? Hey, monsters, we've been having a special contest, a meme contest on all our socials the last couple of weeks. I announced it on Monstro Mondays, and we asked all the community to make up their best Monstro memes and share them on any of our socials. And we've had some great ones coming in. I've been sharing them throughout the episode, and I'll keep sharing the rest that we received. But now it's time to see the winner of the St. Patrick's Day NFT. So everybody who submitted a meme received a ticket. Doesn't matter how many memes you submitted, each member received one ticket. They're entered into the Grubfish Royale, and we're going to win St. Patrick's Day NFT. Okay, so let's head on over and get it started. So as you can see here, we have the names of all the contestants that submitted a meme, and let's get it going. Okay, all the grubfish are in the dungeon, running around, have no idea that the blade is oh, dead. Wow, that went through like 4 of them really fast. So if you're still on the screen, that means you're still in the running for the NFT. Dead! Oh! Watch out! Tiberius, Blade, Kilo 7, Brown Eye, and SMK are still alive. And Tiberius died! Sorry! Okay, guys. Kilo 7 just got bigger. And the Blade is running through. Who's it gonna grab? We have 4 people left that could win. Oh, 2 more died. SMK or Kilo 7. One of you are gonna win. Run! Run! Here comes the Blade, guys. One of you is gonna win the NFT. And it misses again. I love it. These 2 are just totally missing the Blade. I wonder how long this is gonna run before it catches them. Run, Kilo 7! Run, SMK! Oh, that was close! Oh, and SMK is the winner! Congratulations! You managed to outrun the Blade faster than any of the other grubs. Nice job! So SMK, just open a ticket and let us know that you're the winner, and we are going to get that special collects St. Patrick's Day NFT dropped to your wallet. Congratulations again! Well done! Thanks for the memes! Now it's time for this week's game. As I was closing out the episode, I thought, wouldn't it be fun to have our game be identifying famous last lines in movies? So I have 5 here that I put together. Let's see if you can name which movies these last lines are from. If you can, open a ticket over in the Discord and write down what you think the answers are. And if you get all 5 correct, you'll get a ticket for our next drawing. Here they are. Are you ready? Number 1. I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy asking him to love her. What movie's that from? You don't need to tell me the year or anything, just the name of the movie. Number 2. I am Groot. Number 3. Why so serious? Number 4. I'm McLovin. And number 5, to infinity and beyond. So remember, open a ticket, write down your answers. Good luck, guys. I hope you guys get a ticket. And I'll let you know soon what the next drawing is going to be for. We still have 2 people who had entered a previous game before the meme contest. Yes, you still have tickets for the next drawing. I really enjoyed this past week getting to know a few of our Australian monsters and just hearing about their love for their country and how much they love it there and just sharing it with me, including pictures. It kind of just touched my heart, and I just love our community. It is filled with amazing, wonderful monsters. I love being a mod in Monstro. It is the best job ever. I wouldn't trade it for anything. So if you haven't already, come by and say hi. Say hi to me in the Telegram, tag me there in Discord. Just come by and say chat, We're always here to support you. We answer your questions about the protocol, about your buys, whatever you want to talk about. All good. Just let us know. But come by and you can always chat with me, okay, guys? So that's all the time we have. I will see you next Monday on Monstro Mondays. Bye, monsters. Keep smiling.